Greetings and welcome to another episode of Wild Mouse. I am your host, Taylor Bartle, and I am joined today by a repeat guest. You may have heard him previously on the Jurassic World The Ride episode, or you may have heard him over on his own podcast, Underrated, the Underrated Movie Podcast, which recently put out an episode with yours truly, talking all about the awesome movie Paranorman. Please welcome back Derick McDuff.
Hey, thank you. I'm happy to be back and be on the show one more time. Thank you for that great introduction.
Yeah, you were very eager to talk about Knott's Berry Farm.
Yes.
So today that's what we will be doing. Specifically, we are talking about the self-proclaimed longest, tallest, and fastest wooden roller coaster on the West Coast, GhostRider.
Yeah. So, have you guys had a Knott's episode before? I was looking through. I didn't see anything on Knott's.
So I've recorded one, but it has not come out yet.
Okay.
But I have one on Mystery Lodge that will be coming out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fun. But yeah, I'm excited to hear you talk about GhostRider Knott's because it is, as I mentioned on that past episode, it's a place that is close to my heart.
And close to your home.
Yes, exactly. Although about twice as far from my home as Disneyland is, which means that it's 20 minutes away from my house.
Oh, how do you ever live?
Yeah. Well, I don't go there all the time because it is not cheap. I mean, it's much cheaper to go to Knott's, though, which is also a reason it's close to my heart.
Yeah, so GhostRider, like I said, this is the official description from Knott's Berry Farm's website. GhostRider is the longest, tallest, and fastest wooden roller coaster on the West Coast. Looming 118 feet over historic Ghost Town, GhostRider is the largest attraction at Knott's Berry Farm and one of the longest and tallest wooden roller coasters in the world. Brave riders enter a mysterious mine and board gold, silver, or copper mining cars before being sent galloping along 4,500 feet of twisting timber. The massive roller coaster includes 14 hills, providing tons of airtime throughout the nearly 3-minute journey. For the ultimate thrill, take a ride at night when every twist and turn is hidden in darkness. GhostRider has been routinely featured on the list of the best wooden roller coasters in the entire world since opening in 1998. In late 2015 through spring 2016, a complete track refurbishment was performed on the ride, creating an improved ride experience with a smoother track and new trains.
Yeah, that's all accurate.
So yeah, as they said, this is located in the Ghost Town section. Knott's Berry Farm, the whole park is kind of Western themed, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
I mean, that is like the overall theme for the park, but they do have like different lands that are not really Western. Like there's it's called Fiesta Village, and it's like basically themed after Mexico. And then there's like a Roaring Twenties area, and then there's like a boardwalk area. And that might be it, but I think, yeah, so the general theme of Knott's is Western, and this is like the front like area of the park that you see when you get in, but once you get deeper in, there are some other themed areas.
Okay, and so Ghost Town obviously is themed, like I assume like a spooky kind of area.
Yeah, it's basically, well, it's sort of spooky. It's less of a ghost town like an actual spooky Halloween ghost, although Knott's is famous for its scary farm, which it does like at Halloween time, and it does get very spooky then. And there are some elements of that, but it's mostly ghost town, like an actual ghost town, like an old Western town that has now been abandoned, like the ones you drive by on the side of the road and you see, oh, what's that old like mining facility there? And it's in fact based on an actual ghost town that you can go to that's like about 2 hours north maybe of Knott's, which is called Calico. So a lot of stuff is like called Calico. So it's like based on an actual town that was like a boom town in like the California Gold Rush, and that's why it's all like gold mine themed. And that was kind of recreated, and we can get into it more in depth later. But Knott's kind of slowly, organically grew out of just a literal berry farm, like this roadside stand that sold berries, and the reason they made that ghost town was so that people would have a place to chill out while they waited hours for their, reservation or to get their table or whatever, this, restaurant that kind of was sprung up there.
Okay, real quick, just say the name of this park.
Oh, Knott's Berry Farm.
Okay, because I've noticed people say it a couple different ways. Like some people will say Knott's Berry Farm, and they'll kind of hit the berry harder. And other people will almost say Knott's Berry like it's one word, like Knott's Berry Farm.
Interesting.
I was just curious to hear how you said it as someone who has it near and dear to their heart.
Okay, yeah. I guess the locals put a space there, because it's Knott's Berry. It's not like a boysenberry, which is something that is also featured heavily at the park.
Right, and it's not like someone's name is Knott's Berry.
Yeah.
The Knott's berries taste like Knott's berries. Yeah, so in 1997, the Knott family decided they wanted to add a wooden roller coaster. At this point, their major attractions were the Calico Mine Ride, which you just talked about Calico and the inspiration there. A prototype corkscrew coaster, a looping shuttle roller coaster called Montezuma's Revenge, and a water ride named Bigfoot Rapids. I want to talk about Montezuma's Revenge real quick, because I remember this one. I remember my cousin going on this when we were little kids, and it just, like, fucking him up.
Oh, yeah, this is like one of those rides from the 70s where they had just figured out loops, and they were like, all right, we're just going to put a long track, a loop, and then just going to go straight up and then back. And it, like, it breaks your... It was like the 70s where, like, fucking whatever, just build it,
Yeah, they were like, what if the loop is the ride?
Yeah. Which is a design I've utilized in Roller Coaster Tycoon many times.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who is not familiar with Montezuma's Revenge, you basically just, like, go take a loop and go up, and then you do the same thing backwards. Mm-hmm. And you get right back into the queue. Yeah. And yeah, it was... I'm not a huge loop person as it is, and so I never went on it, but I remember my cousin going on it, and he was just like, nope, never again. Like, he was probably 12.
Yeah, and it really launches you. Like, you just get shot out of a rocket, and I think right now it's been closed for a while because I think they're redoing it. Like, I remember last time I went, maybe about a year ago, like the loop was just gone. Like, it was, so I think it's getting completely refit, that ride, which, is something that also happened to this ride, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and also, isn't Montezuma's Revenge, isn't that a phrase for when you drink the water in Mexico and shit yourself inside out?
It is, and I was like, I'm actually, I should do some research on this, because I'm like, which came first? Because, like, I feel like, is the diarrhea that you get, like, from the water named after this because it makes you feel that way? Like, I don't know, it's a chicken and the egg thing, I'm not sure, like, because if it was the phrase was first, that would be very weird that they named the ride that.
That's a curious choice, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to GhostRider. According to historian Eric Linkswile, I'm guessing, who wrote a book about Knott's Berry Farm. Have you read this book?
I have not. I have seen the book many times at my day job when I work in a bookstore. Okay. If it is indeed the one I'm thinking of, but it might not be. But I don't know how many books on Knotts there are.
Yeah, I imagine probably not a lot. Yeah. But they said that a wooden roller coaster was the only major attraction type that was absent from the park. I think I could think of a few others, but I guess at the time, maybe that was
right.
The one big gaping hole. Phrasing. The Knott family had begun planning for a wooden coaster almost 5 years before GhostRider was ultimately completed in 1998. And Knott's hoped that the construction of a wooden roller coaster would increase the park's annual attendance over 4 million. It's curious to me that a wooden roller coaster was the last thing.
Right, because it's so, like, old school. Like, it feels like that was, like, an older thing. Because, they had steel roller coasters and stuff, and wooden roller coasters are obviously a much older technology. And, like, a lot of places now, like, don't even have wooden roller coasters. Like, obviously, Disneyland doesn't have one. One of the, other than this, I think the biggest, most famous wooden coaster, in Southern California was Colossus, and that's not even a wooden roller coaster anymore. And now it's like Steel Colossus or whatever the hell they're calling it. So it's kind of like one of the last holdouts, and like, you can go back to like ride those wooden roller coasters at the boardwalk that are like 100 years old or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I just did an episode on the Beast in Kings Island in Ohio, which is the largest wooden roller coaster in the world, actually. And so, but like every time I think of a wooden roller coaster, I equate it with my local county fair.
Yeah.
Like that's our big selling point is the big wooden roller coaster, which is actually just called the coaster, I think. But yeah, so it's weird to think that like, oh, we already have this corkscrew coaster and this looping coaster. Now we need just an old school wooden roller coaster.
Right, it's interesting because I think if you look at the history of Knott's Berry Farm, like I said, it is so organic, where it starts as a berry farm, then it becomes a chicken restaurant, then becomes like a little themed area, they start adding rides, and it eventually goes into a whole theme park, and so they're like, oh, I guess we do need this wooden roller coaster, and it's the last thing that is really done by the Knott family. Both Walter and Cordelia Knott, the founders of the park, had died at this point, their kids owned it, and they ended up selling it to Cedar Fair when the production of this ride was already in process. So it's kind of, that's another reason why, besides the fact that I just love this ride, that it's kind of this interesting handover from when it becomes a family-owned park to this corporate entity that it is now, but it still has those roots, and this is, so much like the park itself, which started to exist as this kind of more homegrown thing and became this bigger corporate giant, GhostRider itself was that, and it's almost like the ride itself, because it crosses like the street as you like enter Knott's, and you can see it from everywhere. It's almost like the Matterhorn, when you can see like from Anaheim everywhere, you can see the GhostRider from everywhere. It's like almost that park's icon.
I'm trying to figure out if when you say like when you talk about its roots and homegrown, if you're trying to make berry puns.
I mean, you could look at it that way.
But so the wooden roller coaster was announced in August of 1997 as part of an expansion of Knott's Berry Farm. By the way, when did they get Snoopy? Do you know?
Right. I think it was like the 70s or something, because that's the other area. It's the kids' land is called Camp Snoopy, and I wonder if that's part of the reason why I love Snoopy so much, is because I always used to see him at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, I mean, probably, yeah, just like the, intrinsic thing in your brain that equates the two.
Right, yeah. Going to see him, like, because there's like a Red Baron ride you can ride there that's like little flying plates, yeah.
My grandma loves Snoopy. I don't know why, but...
There was a lot of Snoopy representation at Comic-Con, which I just got back from.
Really?
Yeah. There's like a lot of Peanuts stuff, and I almost bought a shirt, but it was like sold out by the time I got there. It was really cool. It was like a 3D Snoopy shirt.
Is there like are they doing a new Peanuts movie or something? Or
I think they were just like, hey, Peanuts is cool. People like Peanuts.
That's so weird. So the expansion of the park was going to cost an estimated $35 million, of which the coaster would cost $24 million. So the coaster was the bulk of the expansion. That would be the park's fifth roller coaster, as we said, and with the first attraction built in Ghost Town since 1969.
Nice.
You got a chatty kitty over there.
Dude, yeah, I'm sorry. She just... she gets really upset when I have to log her out of my room, but she still will come to the door whenever I'm on a podcast, because she's like, who are you paying attention to that isn't me?
Oh. Yeah, my dog is sitting on the other side of my computer, so...
Yeah. She's not chill at all. And she's also probably upset that I was gone for 4 days or whatever at a con.
Oh, yeah. So, as you said, the ride crosses over Grand Avenue, which separates the main section of the park from the parking lot, and actually occupies a portion of the parking lot. It replaced the Pan for Gold attraction. I know nothing about Pan for Gold.
Because I was 7 when this came in, so I kind of remember that, where it's just basically what it sounds like. It was just like there's like a water thing that comes through, and you put in your Pan for Gold, and you just try to get some gold. Because, that's the thing. It's like, mining, Calico, whatever. Because that was a thing a bunch of us kids did in California, was we would learn about the gold rush and then go to Sacramento and pan for gold in the actual river and freeze to death. So they're like, let's put a little bit of that here. But interestingly, that's still a Pan for Gold thing. A part of that is still in the line, which, by the way, takes forever. So you can entertain yourself for a second and pan for some gold while you're waiting in this colossal line.
So it wasn't a ride of any kind. It was literally just a thing where you would
just
put a little tray in water and find
just
gold.
Swish it around and be like, here's some dust that we put in here, like this gold flake,
GhostRider sounds much more exciting.
Yes, yeah, accurate.
Let's see. It also replaced a decorative volcano, which was built by the founder, Walter Knott. Do you remember the volcano at all?
No, not really. I think it was just a piece of it was that's once again the part talking about how like just fly by the seat of their pants. A lot of this early stuff was just like they had to like hide some like I think support beams or something. So like, and here's the famous Calico volcano.
Of course. So Knott's vice president for maintenance and construction, Robin Hall, wanted the GhostRider project to serve as a billboard for the park on Beach Boulevard. So, like you said, basically a beacon that you can see from anywhere outside the park. And the project also allowed Knott's to relocate some warehouses in the attraction's path.
Which was apparently one of the most expensive things, was getting rid of the warehouses. Or moving them,
really?
I guess. Yeah. Like, that was, for some reason, that was, like, really, really expensive. Because I guess they probably have a bunch of infrastructure and stuff over there, because, much like Disneyland, in Anaheim, and unlike Disneyland or Disney World in Florida, they just don't have that much room to expand because they're in the middle of a city. So they have to, like, reorganize everything and build out onto the street and stuff.
Yeah, or if you're Disney, you just gotta, like, knock over parking lots or
yeah, exactly.
Replace existing rides.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Or replace volcanoes in this case.
Or replace the world's famous volcano. So Custom Coasters International was hired to manufacture the coaster. Let's see, what else have they done? List of roller coasters. Kingdom Coaster, Outlaw, Hoosier Hurricane. I've never heard of any of these. Cannonball Run.
That's okay. I thought that was just a Burt Reynolds movie, but apparently it's a roller coaster too.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Timber Terror in Silverwood, which I've heard of, even though I've never been to Silverwood, but it's the closest theme park to me.
Okay.
I just have no desire to go to Idaho, so.
See, I'm so spoiled. I have like two of the world's most famous theme parks within 20 minutes of my house, and then like another two like an hour and a half away. Like, so I'm just like, theme parks, whatever. They're everywhere.
Must be nice. Yeah, I have a water park about half hour away. That's the closest thing I got. Oh. Yeah, I don't know any of these rides. Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain.
Sounds like a 90s Disney Channel movie.
It's exactly what it sounds like. Or the Cornball Express.
No, I see. There's a reason I think that maybe these guys were not called back to do refit, which I'm jumping ahead here, was done by confusingly Great Coasters International, which is a different company with a very similar name.
If anyone out there has been to Indiana Beach theme park, hit me up, because I think we need to talk about Lost Coaster of Superstition Mountain and or Cornball Express. Because they're both in this Indiana Beach.
Okay, nice.
The trains were provided by Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters, which is a pretty awesome name for a roller coaster company. Let's see, what are they in charge of? All their rides have toboggan in the name.
Except for GhostRider, I guess.
Except for GhostRider. Yeah, there's Figure 8 Toboggan, Toboggan Figure 8, Forest Toboggan, Figure 8, Figure 8 Toboggan, Toboggan Slide, Figure 8.
Seems like there's a theme.
They have like 8 rides named Figure 8.
No, this isn't Figure 8 Toboggan, this is Toboggan Figure 8. You're going to want to go to that park.
Oh, Big Roller Coaster. That's a great name.
Now, I kind of want to ride it just because of that.
And then about 16 Wildcats.
Okay, that's different than the Wild Mouse, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it is. So the construction lasted 2 years, with the first phase involved clearing land and relocating the warehouses, which took about a year, and, like you said, compromised much of the ride's budget. Don't know why, but the ride would be the Knott's family's, again, like you said, the Knott's family's last investment in the park before Cedar Fair acquired the park in 1997. At the time, land was still being cleared for GhostRider, and Cedar Fair CEO Dick Kinzel considered canceling the ride because it was costing so much. But Cedar Fair Cedar Fair Cedar Fair ultimately pushed through, and in March of 1998, the ride was officially declared GhostRider.
Very nice. Very nice.
Construction of the ride itself took 11 months, and park officials wanted the ride to be taller than Colossus at Magic Mountain, which was also designed by Hall. Which I don't think we said. Who's Hall?
It's good. Is it somebody's last name? I don't know.
Robin Hall. Yes, we did mention Robin Hall. Okay. Robin Hall also designed Colossus, and so he wanted this to be just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, which is interesting because, like I said, those are like the two wooden roller coasters in my life. Like I was kind of like thinking about like all the wooden roller coasters I've gone on. I think I've only gone on like 4 or 5, but the ones that are just very, very memorable are Colossus and GhostRider. So it's interesting they were designed by the same person.
Yeah, and so they revised the height from 112 feet to 118 feet just so it would be taller than Colossus.
That was such a thing in the 90s of like the coaster wars. It's like, oh, we've got to be taller than the other guy, you know?
By 4 feet or 6 feet.
It was like the buildings in New York City. Like there's that story about like, I think it was like the Empire State Building and the Chrysler Building or something. And they were like, surprise, this is an antenna. It makes it 10 feet taller. Suck it.
It's weird dick measuring contests.
Yeah.
So there was actually a strike outside of Knott's Berry Farm over GhostRider because they did not hire union labor. And so the park actually had to file a lawsuit to stop the protests. So,
which I was like, how? Okay, I mean, I would still like, you can't protest anymore because like the lawsuit. I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of someone filing a lawsuit to stop a protest. Like, how does that work?
Right. I don't know. Like, it's like, oh, go home. No protesting today. You guys lost the suit.
And yeah, and what was the lawsuit? Because like, there's a whole, right to free assembly thing.
Yeah. Well, for now, who knows?
Yeah. Well,
who knows how much longer that's gonna be?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, on a lighter note. So GhostRider was originally scheduled to open in early 1999, but actually opened December 8th, 1998, ahead of schedule. Jack Falfus, that's a fun name, the general manager of Knott's, advocated for accelerating the opening date, and during a preview event on the opening day, 100 members of the nonprofit group American Coaster Enthusiasts, also known as ACE, rode GhostRider. At the time of the opening, GhostRider was advertised as the longest wooden roller coaster on the West Coast, and as of January 2023, it remains the longest wooden roller coaster on the American West Coast, as well as the Pacific Coast of the Americas. Isn't that the same thing?
Well, that's I think including like Mexico and Canada and Argentina and Chile and all that stuff. So sorry, Chile, you got to get a longer coaster than GhostRider.
Step up your coaster game, Chile.
You've got such a long coast too.
Yeah, right. You could just make one giant roller coaster all along the. Yeah. And there could be such good names with Chile,
Right. Yeah. The options are plenty.
Red Hot Chili Coaster.
Exactly, and they could do what Disney did with Space Mountain, where they just put on like Chili Peppers music for some reason onto it.
Just Roller Coaster of Love on a loop.
Yeah. Sorry if anyone out there who's listening in Chile. Would be very disrespectful of your country.
Yes, I have a lot of listeners in Chile.
There's one dude who's just like, I'll never listen again.
Actually, my second highest country of listenership is Colombia.
Well, okay. I guess, hey, shout out to South America.
So let's see. Park officials claimed that GhostRider was the fastest wooden roller coaster on the West Coast. However, Colossus traveled at a maximum speed of 62 miles per hour compared to GhostRider's 56 miles per hour. I'm surprised they didn't tweak it. Just
to be like, get it a little bit faster. Well, but they did win ultimately because now Colossus isn't a wooden coaster anymore, so they got the title back.
That's true. Yeah, as the official synopsis said, longest, tallest, and fastest.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so like we said, 118 feet tall. maximum speed of 56 miles per hour, 4,533 feet in length, and a duration of 2 minutes and 40 seconds, which is about half of the Beast, which is insane.
That's wild, yeah. Well, because the faster it goes, obviously, then the shorter the ride will be too.
True. So after it opened, this immediately became one of the most popular rides. And Knott's officials predicted that the ride would increase the park's annual attendance from 3.4 to that coveted 4 million. During the second quarter of 1999, attendance at Knott's increased more than 10% quarter over quarter, when other amusement parks in Southern California were actually experiencing decreased attendance. So, cool.
Yeah.
Bully.
All right. Good for Knott's.
Yeah. The ride was temporarily closed for repairs in August of 1999 after an incident that injured 5 people. Do you know anything about this incident?
I watched like a problematic roller coaster video about it, and apparently like a board fell off, hit some guy in the head. He needed stitches, so they tightened a bunch of bolts and redid a bunch of things, I guess. But yeah, I guess it was one of those things that like we walk the track every morning and we make sure everything's secure. We don't really know how this happened, so I guess it remains a mystery.
They always say that.
Right, yeah, it's just like one of those things, like, how did you really walk it? Did you, like, how closely were you looking at these wooden boards?
Yeah, you can walk the track and that doesn't mean anything. Yeah, an unsecured piece of wood was lifted by a passing train and thrown into another car that was passing below. Like I said, 5 people were injured, and there was a tourist who was hit in the head and required stitches, as Derick said. Yep, and CCI, the company that built it, said, you should probably secure those boards. And they went, okay. And then they actually installed metal safety devices to make sure that doesn't happen again. Mm. And then the ride reopened on August 30th. By 2015, GhostRider had gained a reputation as a rough ride, which most wooden coasters are, to some degree, a pretty rough ride.
Yeah. I will say, because I have ridden it in like all 3 of its forms, I guess you would call it, when it first opened, and then when it was in its rough state, and then its current state. And it was like I said, a lot of wooden coasters get very rough. But I had ridden, the Great Dipper, which is like 100-something years old. That was a smoother ride than this. This was just like back-breaking when it was like it was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about the wooden roller coaster at my local fair, and the climb on that it was like ka-chunk, like the whole way up this first hill. And I've told the story on the podcast before. My dad's favorite thing to do. My dad was one of those people that would always wait for the front car.
Yeah.
So every time we would sit in the front car, and as we're going up that hill, he would turn around to the people behind us and be like, "We're not going to make it. We're not going to make it."
That's so funny. Oh my god.
And one time there was these 2 probably like middle school, maybe early high school age girls behind us, and they just started losing their minds. They were like, "What? Oh my god, really?"
That's so good. That's so perfect. It's like, you can't leave at that point. You get scared off. You're like, ah.
Well, yeah, like what's going to happen? You're going to roll backwards and then just roll right back into the station, and that's it. That's worst case scenario.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I did see. Was it Final Destination 3? So you could die in a terrible, crazy accident where a nail falls and derails you or something like that.
I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah. I mean, Final Destination has taught me many, many insane things can lead to your dying in a calamity.
Yeah, I still won't drive behind a logging truck.
Oh, yeah, me, same. You see one of those on the highway? I don't think any millennial will.
That's true. Yeah. So the ride temporarily closed in September of 2015, and as you said, Great Coasters International refurbished the attraction. The project lasted for 2 years. But the renovation itself only took 9 months to complete. So it was planned for 2 years.
Okay.
But only took 9 months.
Yeah.
Buena Park officials had to ensure that the renovation plans complied with building codes and that the ride was resistant to earthquakes. That's kind of a big deal in Southern California.
It is indeed a very big deal, to the point where like one happens and you're just like, oh, did you feel that one? No, I slept through it.
Yeah, I got a buddy who lives out in like Thousand Oaks area.
Yeah.
And I'll see... something will pop up and it'll be like, oh, 5.8 earthquake in this area, and I'll text him. I'll be like, "Did you feel this?" And he was like, "Feel what?"
That's how it is, though. That's exactly how it is.
He'd be like, "No, I was making dinner."
Yeah. Like the lamps will sway overhead, and you'd be like, "Oh, there we oh, okay."
No, I guess we had an earthquake.
Yeah, that's it.
That was, I mean, up here in the Seattle area when we had like our big one in 2001. I remember I was in high school and I was in video productions class, and I was outside filming something or whatever, and I came back into the classroom and everyone was under the table, and I was just like, "What is going on?"
Well, they're
I guess
quick
since I was outside,
people don't realize how quick they are.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess since I was outside, I just didn't feel it.
Yeah, there you go. You could be a Californian.
Yeah, I guess.
Fit right in.
Yeah. So during this renovation, most of the track was replaced and reprofiled, with banked turns and airtime hills being added. So it wasn't just like a refitting or retrack. They actually did add some stuff.
Yeah, and I think they took out like a brake section or something too.
Yeah, the mid-course brake run was removed, and the trains were replaced with Millennium Flyer, which sounds good.
Yeah, I guess it's better. A flyer is better than a toboggan, everybody says.
Millennium Flyer sounds like I'm just thinking Millennium Falcon.
Right.
So it just makes me think of a spaceship.
Yeah, or Radio Flyer, the wagon.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's a spaceship wagon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Great Coasters International. Some of their famous coasters. Roar.
Okay, all right.
Thunderhead at Dollywood.
Oh, I mean, hey, Dollywood, you know.
American Thunder, formerly known as Evel Knievel.
Okay. I wonder if they got, like, sued. They're like, that was a guy. Like, you can't name it that.
You should just use his name.
Yeah.
White Lightning.
Okay.
Which is that's what they called me in high school. Texas Stingray at SeaWorld San Antonio.
Okay.
Zambezi Zinger. Wait, there's a Real Madrid World?
That's wild. Okay. That's gotta be like Dubai or something like that. That's wild.
It is in the UAE, yeah.
Yeah, see, there you go. Those ones always, there's like a Ferrari world, and there's like all these like crazy brand like worlds over there.
I need to find someone who's been to Ferrari World, because I'm never going over there. But
Yeah.
Ferrari World looks fucking insane.
Yeah, it looks absolutely wild.
They have coasters that go over 100 miles an hour.
Wow. Okay.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I want to go there, but not go to Saudi Arabia.
Right. That's fair. That's very valid.
Thoughts on Disneyland Abu Dhabi?
You know, I think that's like it's one of those things that just felt inevitable. You know, it's like because there's so many theme parks that are there, and like Disneyland doesn't really like have anything near that part of the world. Like the closest would be, I guess, Euro Disney. You know, and then you have like a bunch of parks in Asia, but there's nothing at all in the Middle East. So, you know, of course Disney's going to do it, and of course because there's of course just a ton of money there in Dubai for a few people, and then everyone else is like, you know, living in poverty. So,
yeah, I like how they shot down. I think it was Riyadh. They were like, but Abu Dhabi, that's fine.
Yeah, they're like, that's much better.
So let's see. GCI also replaced the chain lift, added magnetic brakes, and removed steel in the ride structure as part of the project. GhostRider was originally planned to reopen on May 27th, 2016, but it was delayed until June 11th, 2016.
Had to make up that early opening last time.
That's right. So, let's talk about the ride itself. You talked about the ride queue. You said it's extremely fucking long.
Yes, it's ridiculous. It's like a 2 or 3 hour wait, like at least every time. It's wild. I mean, maybe if you go on like early on a weekday or something, but like it's always so bad.
Yeah, and it says it begins in a mining tunnel.
Yeah, you go in through this like little archway and for like a second, you're like, oh, this is really cool, and then you just immediately come back out and you see like the gold panning thing, and then you're in a warehouse. You think like, oh, I'm cool, I'm close to the end, and then there's like 18 switchbacks in this warehouse downstairs, and then you go upstairs and there's like 18 more, and at that point you're just like, all right, let me just get on this fucking ride.
Yeah, you go through this tunnel and you go to the lower level of the fictitious GhostRider mining company, and then the queue ascends to the upper level because the ride station is 3 stories high.
Yeah, it's wild. And this is, it's funny. Yeah, you bring up like the theming of the queue, because this is one of those rides where it's like kind of themed, sort of, like, because there's rides where it's like the line we talked about last time, where it's like Jurassic Park the ride. And you're like, oh, cool, I'm in Jurassic Park right now. And then there's ones that are just like, hey, like, the one you talked about with Mike a couple, episodes ago, where it's like Revolution. This is just a roller coaster. We named it something cool. Go on it. And this one is like lightly themed. There's like, oh, it's a mine. We're in Calico. But like once you're on the ride, there's like not like the Incredibles running around like it's the Incredicoaster or something. You're just on a wooden roller coaster. But like in all the queues and like all the pre-ride videos are like, don't like line jumpers will be dealt with worse than claim jumpers. Like it's all these old timey guys and stuff like that. And the theming around but it's very minimal. It's very like, we don't have a Disney budget, but but it's still like, hey, this is kind of like a spooky ghost on a train in a mine or whatever.
Have you ever seen the like fake safety video with Patrick Warburton?
Yes, I have. It's so good. It's what's funny is I was listening to the podcast The Rise.
Yeah, one of those guys like directed it, right?
Yeah, one of those guys directed it, and I guess he was like talking to him. And he's like, I was in a real one of these once, and they're like, yeah, we know, we've been on Soarin' 8 million times.
Yeah, I just love how he talks about like halfway through you're going to have to get out and have a picnic lunch.
It's really good. It's so funny.
There's no kind of like safety video for this, right?
There is. It's just like plays above you, and it's just like it's basically like just make sure you sit down, strap in, and take your hat off. Like there's like a guy dressed like a prospector, and he's like, "Oh, I guess I gotta take my hat off. Here you go, there, Knott's employee."
Okay, so yeah, and something that's kind of interesting is you board the train on the 3rd level of the station.
Yeah, which is interesting because the way that this ride kind of starts, which I love, is it kind of like you just kind of like drop down to like the ground pretty quick. So it's kind of like this little tiny like little loop before you get on the chain lift, which I think is a cool kind of interesting way to start the ride. It's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, so like you said, the train is propelled out of the station using drive tires, and there's a small left turn and then a descent into a ravine.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up my video here.
Yeah, I got mine up too. Which is nice that Knott's actually has like a ride like video provided by them, which is I think is interesting because like I've gone to Knott's and they will always be over loudspeakers like, put your phones away, do not record the ride. I guess they're like, we have to have it out officially from our point of view. So I don't know. I thought that was something to note. Yeah,
like Disney just released a bunch of POVs on Disney Plus, which is interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I watched the Indiana Jones one, and I was just like, this feels edited.
I'm going to check that out.
I don't know if it is, but I was just like, this feels really like quick. I don't know.
I wonder if it's one of those things where it just feels quicker because like you're not immersed in it as much. So you're like, oh, that's shorter than I realized.
That's what I was wondering too, yeah. So, yeah, you bank around this corner, and then you get to the first climb, which is you go under a little trellis kind of thing. And, I mean, from the video, it looks like a pretty smooth climb.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a pretty just smooth sailing up there.
Let's see, this video is from 9 years ago. So this is pre-refurbishment?
This would be post, because there's the little, I don't know, what do you call, like, not awning, but the little, thing that's over the drop, which I guess they added in the refurbishment because people were screaming too loud and residents were upset about it. So this kind of like blocks the sound, I guess. But it actually works for the ride. It kind of like, gives you that like, you're like, because you're like, I might get hit in my head, like head chopper thing, I guess they call it.
Yeah, and I mean it's it's all wood, so it adds to the kind of the whole aesthetic.
Yeah, it's very mind themed right there.
So I guess 9 years ago, I guess that would be 2016. That would be so. This must have done like right after it reopened.
Right. Yeah. So they must have been showing off the new refurbishment.
There is a sign here that says "Please remain seated." And this is kind of one of those things where it's like they only put that kind of sign there if it's needed. So it's like, what were people doing?
Yeah, were people trying to climb out of the ride right here?
I'm just going to stand up. That seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
But so it's a pretty long, like doesn't look super steep, but it's a pretty long climb.
Yeah. And it is like, I will say, like when you are like going down, like just watching the video, I'm surprised how quick it is. Cause like you are, like I mentioned, very high up and it goes very quickly and you get a lot of zero Gs. Just like that is one of my favorite drops, first drops of any roller coaster ever is that first drop that happens right here.
High praise.
Yeah.
So you get to the top and there's another sign that says please remain seated. As well as please keep arms and hands inside car at all times. I assume that's because you're going under another one of these little trellis things
right.
And there are boards hanging down. And so I could see people, if you're really tall or got long arms or something, you could whack your knuckles on that.
Right. And I guess they're just doing their due diligence. Yeah, no, everybody always puts their hands up. Like, there's you always do, but it does kind of feel like you're going to hit your hands on the top. And I'm sure there's like 3 feet of clearance there or whatever every time, even for tall people, but it does feel that way. Like, you're like, can I do this? Like, is it going to chop my hands off right now?
Well, like, Thunder Mountain at Disneyland, they have it so it's like, it looks like you're about to hit your hands, but then that's when the drop is.
Right.
And so you drop under it, but you still find yourself just going,
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same kind of effect here, I think, although, it is actually above you.
Yeah, I mean, but you can tell even in this video, there's a good amount of clearance there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty good drop. And then it real quick, like banks you to the left and then another little kind of bunny hop, which I imagine that probably gets you some pretty good airtime right there.
Oh, absolutely. You are really whipping around it, and you're just kind of like, if you're not strapped in, you would fly. That's why I think there's so many signs, because you will fly out of your seat if you're not really in there.
What is the, safety bar situation? We got, one bar across the whole thing, or is, everybody gets their own individual one?
Everybody gets their own individual bar, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of keeps you in a little better.
Yeah, because it's 2x2, so, yeah, so it's just like you and your buddy next to you or whatever. Okay,
and the ride vehicle, I assume it's supposed to look like a mine car.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's got that theme on it, but it's more just like coloring and like aesthetics than anything. It doesn't it's not shaped, I think, particularly like a mine car.
No, it just kind of looks like rustic.
Right, yeah, rustic's a good way to put it. And then, like you said, there's the 3 colors. So it's the gold, the silver, the copper.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like old sheet metal or something.
Yeah.
And then, the big GhostRider logo on the front.
Right, yeah. And I think it's, vaguely sparkly, it's supposed to kind of look like a gem you would see in the earth, but it's that kind of, effect when, the sun is shining on it. You can see it a little, the sparkles come up a little bit.
Oh, okay, a little flecked.
Yeah.
Okay, so after this little bunny hill, you go up another hill and you kind of bank to the left. And there's, you're going really fast, but there's a pretty nice view there.
Yeah, you get to see, exactly, you get to see, it's cool because you can see, all of Boynton Park, and you can see, the equivalent of it's their downtown Disney, which is called, the Knott District or something. Well, they also have, and you can see it in the video there, an exact replica of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, because the Knotts were very old school, the actual Knott family was very old school conservative, and they were yes, we'll build an exact replica of Independence Hall. That was so accurate, by the way, that they used it in the movie for National Treasure when they were shooting in that scene.
Really?
Yes. We don't need to fly to Philadelphia. We could just go down the road an hour to Knott's.
That's hilarious. Yeah, didn't they have an exhibit about American politics of some kind?
I don't know for sure, but I would not be surprised. That would check out.
I feel like I remember hearing something about that, when it first opened, it was some kind of walkthrough exhibit.
Okay, yeah, that would not surprise me.
But so yeah, you get a pretty good turn here. You do almost 180 degrees, looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then you kind of bank back, and then there's another pretty decent hill. Obviously not, the size of the first hill, but a pretty good drop. And then you crisscross with the original hill.
Yeah, which is cool. You kind of go underneath it.
Do you ever see people going down as you're going by?
Yeah, and it's interesting because like we talked about how this like so you see people going down and you also like see people like walking under you because the entrance to the park is you have to walk under GhostRider to get there from the parking lot.
Yeah, because a big selling point for the Beast is that you can actually like watch people go in the opposite direction as you.
I don't think there's anything. I don't think you really see that as much as more than you'll like see someone going up the hill, but from a distance, kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cause, I mean, theoretically, you could right here at this part in the ride.
Yeah,
you can see people going down the other
perfectly.
Yeah, if they release the other cars at the right time.
Right. Yeah, and they only really run 2 cars at a time, so probably the timing would never really match up.
Yeah. But so then you drop down into another little covered area. What do we say? 56 miles per hour was the top speed?
Yeah.
You're booking it.
You really are at this point. You're like really feeling that like energy right there.
And then you come up this hill and you get to the top and you go around a corner. And this part's pretty flat. So this is kind of like the catch your breath moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is exactly. I think this is where the brake area used to be.
Okay, that makes sense. And now they're just like, you'll get there.
Yeah, they're just like, all right, here's a couple little drops for you.
Yeah, just coast.
Yeah, but you're still moving pretty quickly. So it's just kind of like one of those things. It's like you said, you catch your breath, and then it's just kind of like you're going down. But I like this like last part because you are now kind of like underneath where you started because it's basically just the ride is layout is just like an L. So now you've crossed back into where you were before, and you're just going underneath it. So you have the rest of like the lift hill and everything above you. So you're going through all this like this wooden area. So it's doing that same thing you did in the drop, where your head is covered, but to a much greater degree.
Okay. Yeah. Then you another pretty decent drop, and you are really kind of flying at this point. I don't know if this is where the top speed is, but this part looks really fast.
Yeah. It is. It is very quick.
Especially now, I guess, since you don't have that brake there.
Right, yeah. So you don't have like anything to slow you down. You're just still going on momentum from that huge drop.
Yeah, and then you hit this, and you're going undercover, and there's a little bunny hill, and then like a hard bank to the left, where you kind of, get that sideways lean going.
Yeah, you're still getting like good airtime even at this point in the ride, and like I said, yeah, you're getting some good leans and stuff like that.
Yeah, a couple little bunny hills, and then a big turn to the right, almost maybe 180 degrees.
Yeah, maybe.
And then another couple little bunny hops, and it looks like you're coasting into the station here. Another big turn, and and then you go. I guess nope, another little bunny hill first, and then there's the brakes, and you coast back into the station. So I gotta say, even like this, this video is 2:35. We said the duration is 2:40. That video went by really quick.
Right. It's like what we were talking before. It's like I always feel like this ride is a long ride, which is impressive because like the line takes forever, and I feel like whenever you're waiting in line forever, like the thing goes by quickly. But this does feel like a very long ride, even though it is over in 2.5 minutes, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, well, for a roller coaster, I feel like 2.5 is a pretty good ride.
That's a good point. And it's a good point. And I feel like, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like wooden roller coasters are generally going to be longer than like a steel one.
True. I guess Incredicoaster is 3 minutes. Incredicoaster doesn't feel that long.
Okay. Huh. I guess there is you do a lot of bunny hills at the end of that ride, I feel like.
Yeah. Incredicoaster has a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't been to Knott since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm guessing I probably didn't go on this.
Fair.
But I mean, after watching this video and talking to you, I want to.
Yeah, it's like one of the all-time, it's consistently like named as like in like the top 10 or 5 like wooden roller coasters in the US. It's a legitimately great ride, and I think it dropped down for a couple years there when it got really rough, but ever since the refurb it's like right back up there. It's just a great wooden roller coaster, honestly, and There's not too many of those left, unfortunately. Like I said, there is a real long wait there. You're gonna have to unless you go on a Wednesday morning or something, you're gonna have to wait. But it is another coaster that is really good at night. It is one of those ones. Some coasters are a little better at night. This one is a lot better at night.
So what makes it so good at night?
I mean, it's one of the things. It's because it's all lit up. You can see out in the distance. You can see the city all lit up, and you can see the tracks have the little LEDs or whatever on them. So you're just kind of on this, and it's just, I feel the same way about Matterhorn, where the Matterhorn is another really great night ride. But everything just seems so much more distant and dark, and kind of it's a lot like I Love Space Mountain, and because that ride is dark, and you're just making all these twists and turns and can't see the track in front of you as well. And even with the LEDs, kind of the general direction you're going, but you're going so fast through the darkness that it is much more intense, I think.
Yeah, I'm a big Thunder Mountain night ride person.
Yeah, that's another.
That's one of my favorites. And I think part of it stems from when I went to Disney World last year, and I rode. Mm-hmm. We just went on it last ride of the night just because it was there.
Yeah.
And as we were getting on the ride, people were cheering, and we're just oh, okay, this is the party train.
Yeah. There you go.
And as we start going up the first hill, there's these guys in the front car, and they start going, hey, 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 hey. The whole way up the hill. And so every subsequent hill, the whole train would start going, hey, 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 hey.
They understood the assignment. That's so good.
Yeah. And that is just a core memory for me now. Every time I ride Thunder Mountain Railroad, I want to do it, but
right.
I know I'm going to look like an asshole if I do it.
Right. You gotta get a good group of people to get it going. Yeah.
Yeah. You try to do it by yourself, and people are like, shut up!
Who invited this guy?
Yeah, so I do love a good night ride. And this, especially with the covered areas and stuff, seems like it would be a really cool night ride.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I highly recommend it. I think I last did as a night ride, a few years back, not too long after refurbishment, for Scary Farm. We did all the, the mazes and stuff, and then we're all right. And it ended up being I think it was a 3.5 hour wait. But at the end of it, I was
Ooh.
this, yeah, because Scary Farm is when it gets really packed. People love Scary Farm, and rightly so, it rules. But I usually just try to focus on the mazes because I was I can go on the rides whenever. But that was a really good night ride.
Does Knott's Scary Farm have limited capacity, or is it just whatever the regular park capacity is?
I think it's the same as the regular capacity. It's just because they will open the park during the day, and then they'll close it and so everyone has to leave at 6 or something, and then everyone can come back at 8 or whatever, or you can, because it's two different
interesting
things. Yeah.
Okay. But so if you buy a ticket to that, can you go to the park earlier, or you have to buy 2 tickets?
You have to buy 2 tickets. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're a season pass holder, I think you can get a discount on it. I want to say, because it is a very whole other thing,
Yeah.
I don't think you can go on the mazes or anything during the day. In fact, I'm pretty sure you can't. Yeah.
A buddy of mine, I think it was 2019, went down to California for Halloween, and we did the Oogie Boogie Bash. We did Dark Harbor. We did Horror Nights. So we basically did everything but Scary Farm.
Wow, it's because Scary Farm was kind of the originator of a lot of that, and it just had its 50th anniversary a year or two ago, which I went to, which was really cool because they did all these kind of old tribute things to old mazes and stuff. I like the Universal one a lot too, but much the reason I like this kind of more than Knott's in general more than Universal is it feels so much. I mean, it is corporate, but it feels so much more organic. Whereas the Universal mazes are come and see the family from Us. They're going to chase you with scissors. This is we made up a story about a ghost witch that's going to cook you alive, and it has nothing to do with anything. It's just weird, whatever nonsense they want to make up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a conscious thing. It's not we were fuck Knott's Scary Farm.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of a budget and time
That's fair.
thing.
That's fair.
And it just unfortunately was like the one thing that didn't make it.
Right. Just, you had to cut something.
But so, I mean, next time I come down for Halloween, I'm definitely planning on doing that. That's going to be probably second on the list because I got to do Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done the Oogie Boogie Bash. I'm not sure because like I like Halloween at Disneyland, but like it's I don't know. It's not. I'm much more drawn to, like, even though I like Disney in general better or best, the Universal and the Knott's mazes, because I think they're just kind of spookier and scarier.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they're obviously more kind of adult focused.
But I should go one of these years.
That was why I asked if Knott's Scary Farm was a separate, or if they had limited capacity, because at Disney you have to buy a ticket for Oogie Boogie Bash,
mm-hmm.
and so it's only a set amount of people, and so it's actually a lower capacity.
Right, and that's, I think, another reason why I never did Oogie Boogie Bash, because I think it is much more expensive.
Oh yeah, I mean, you basically are paying at least a full day park cost for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, when all the kids go do the trick-or-treat trails or go and meet the characters, there are no lines.
That's nice. That's a nice perk.
I'm like, I don't have kids. I have no plans of having kids, but it's like, oh, yeah, kids, go with your parents, go do the trick-or-treat trail. I'm going to go do Tower of Terror.
Yep. That is one advantage of being, of like, not having kids and going to theme parks is you can just do your own thing and not have to worry about like what all the, like, cool, the families are over here, I'm going to go over here.
And it's not like, oh, who's going to watch the kid while I go on the roller coaster?
Right. Exactly.
None of that.
Just to have fun.
Yeah. But I mean, I definitely want to hit Knott's next time I go down, whether that's for October or just some other time. But it is the one park I have not been to in a recent time. So I have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah. I mean, and I think this one should be the top of your list for stuff you see there. Because there's some other stuff, but this is I think the peak.
I'm like, my thrill ride capacity is only so high. I don't do a lot of twists. I don't do a lot of loops. I don't like a lot of corkscrews. I don't like to spin a lot. So there's a few of the big thrill rides that I am like, I'm going to pass on this one, but this one sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah, this one's right, and because they did put a lot of that stuff in once it got that corporate ownership. They kind of tried to, I think, compete with Six Flags a lot because they knew they knew they weren't going to compete with Disney, which is interesting because now they merged with Six Flags, their parent company. But there was like, we're going to have like the Silver Bullet, and we're going to have all these like big intense like Accelerator, like all these big intense roller coasters that will have light theming once again. But they're not going to be a Space Mountain or something like that. But they can maybe compete with like the big roller coasters at Six Flags.
Right. Yeah, give me just an old-fashioned, old-school wooden roller coaster that goes really fast and has some awesome drops. I'm in heaven.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, so perfect.
Yeah, this is definitely top of the list next time I go. So
nice.
All right. Well, you got any final thoughts on GhostRider?
I guess, yeah, like I was saying, I think it's so cool that this ride cropped up and was able, it basically came up because the Knotts were like, hey, like, this is probably our last hurrah here before we sell off this park. And it embodies that early kind of just like weird spirit of like spookiness, but it was a point where they're like, finally, we're going to like really put some money in before like it started, getting all these different like steel roller coasters and stuff. So I think that for anyone who is a wooden like fan or just a roller coaster fan, like this is definitely one to check off the list.
Right on. All right. Why don't you go ahead and tell people where they can follow you and listen to your podcast?
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, you can follow me, Underrated Movie Podcast everywhere. We'll go to underratedmoviepodcast.com to find the links to all of that stuff. Same on social media, Underrated Movie Podcast on, TikTok and Instagram, and not on Twitter anymore. It still exists, but I'll never go on it anymore. Just follow me there. As you mentioned at the top, you and I just did an episode together. Paranorman, you came on and talked about that. I'm in the middle of my Leica retrospective. So as of the day we recorded that episode came out. So this will probably be out a little bit later than that, but obviously that'll still be up. And I was just at Comic-Con, as I mentioned, and I had a panel about the value of a director's cut. So by the time this episode is out, that should be up as like a bonus episode, and the panel will be on YouTube and on all the podcasts out too.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Go and check out Derick's podcast. And thank you for listening. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Your attention, please. This episode of Wild Mouse has concluded. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and follow us on social media at Wild Mouse Podcast. Don't forget to visit the gift shop at wildmousepodcast.com. For exclusive bonus content, become a premium pass holder at patreon.com/wildmousepodcast. We hope you enjoyed your time and will visit us again soon. Thank you and good night.
I'm so sorry about my cat, dude. She's like losing her mind. She's so mad at me right now.